just now really learning who I am, and now I'm supposed to become a wife. I'm supposed to become a mom, and it's like, how am I supposed to do all that?
I never
So when did you?
myself.
Yeah, when?
Yeah.
Oh,
You hear? I never stayed by myself. He
Oh,
never
my
stayed by
goodness.
himself.
Oh.
We never stayed together until we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And then a month and a half later, we had a newborn.
Yeah.
oh
wow.
wow,
Yeah.
Sydney. Women don't really talk about that part of motherhood enough, because even in the moments of you saying, I know I'm a great mom and I know I have the capability to do these things, when is somebody just going to come and say, but you don't have to? Make sure I can see myself now.
Make sure y'all do a little intro.
Right?
And what? I took,
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Because we back.
Not the dance.
Well, listen, she usually hit us with a song.
That's true. That's what I'm saying.
We back. We back.
Not us dancing.
Welcome back to the You're Done podcast.
Yay.
It's your girl, Big Desto, not the little one.
And it's your girl, Be More, Nevertheless. And we got a special guest today.
Go Sydney. Go Sydney.
Yes.
Go Sydney.
I love it.
So, Sydney, I've been knowing since middle school. Class of 08. Listen, we ain't afraid of our age because we look dang good, okay? But I've been knowing Sydney for like forever. We've definitely had well, her and I, we've always had conversations. I've broken down what I thought she was like and who she is today and why your mama did that.
Yes.
But she is a nurse, an RN, registered, okay? Put the title, put the little letters behind her name. Put some respect on her name. And of course, a mom of 3.
Yes.
Yes, which is great, even though she is not yet a mother. We're going to be talking about motherhood, but not yet. But we're literally going to start with what we thought motherhood was. And even as a person who hasn't had kids, but clearly has watched me become a mom, like what we thought that was. And then kind of like once you became a mom, then how did those views change? And then what are we doing in our own space of being mothers? Because it's very easy to be like, well, my mama did this, let me copy that, but it's just like that don't work in these times.
Yeah,
because
your kids are not her kids. We'll work them that kid, not gonna work.
For sure.
Yeah.
We already done touched it.
Y'all hit a spot already.
So yes, so I would probably say, as far as, well, you were a mom before I was a mom, but just in a general sense, of course, I think we all was like, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have my kids, I'm gonna tell my husband that I'm pregnant, like we're gonna plan this. I'm gonna have my boy. You know, we had the genders down packed, and this is
None
just
of that happened.
right. And then no, but I will say I was more of like, Oprah ain't had no kids. She's doing great. Why do I need kids? I never really thought that I would have kids, so I had more of the mindset of, if I have kids, awesome. I will be married though. Okay. But if I never have kids, like,
that's great.
I'm not missing out on life because I'm a woman who did not bear children. I would be totally fine with just being like, me and my husband just out here taking trips.
Right.
For no reason at all. Other than the fact that it's just me and him.
Did you ever see yourself not having kids?
No.
Always wanted to.
Yeah, because remember, I grew up an only child for 13 years. And so I always said, well, my great-grandma would always tell my mom that she should have another child.
Yeah.
And so by the time I turned 13, I was like, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to get a sibling.
Yeah.
And then here she go with a baby.
Now here she go.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I'm good now. Oh, and then backdoor 2 years, she got another baby. So it was a twofer. So my sisters and I are 13 and 15 years apart.
Oh, yeah. You became a big sister.
I was their mother. I was their mom. So, but before then, I was like, I'm never going to just have one child. Yeah. I'm going to have 2, at least.
Yeah.
Content with 2.
Yes. Yeah. And then the Lord said,
Girl, COVID.
Oh, well,
she got comfortable.
She got baby. Yes. So that's how that came about.
Well, Miss Destiny, what you think motherhood? Well, how do you expect it to be?
The thing is, I don't know what to expect, but I think as a woman with no kids, but obviously anticipating to have some, I've had my moments, especially before I got married and stuff. I was like, I'm just now really learning who I am, and now I'm supposed to become a wife. I'm supposed to become a mom, and it's like, I'm supposed to do all that.
Yeah.
So I had these conversations with Corey of just like, dang, I don't like. Obviously, you never can plan for these things. I don't know what I'm going to get myself into. I don't know, but I did. I guess a little bit of imposter syndrome, or what's the word of I don't know. I just
FOMO.
Not even FOMO, but I think it was so much of me wanting to be the best version of whatever myself in that space. And I kind of freaked myself out. Like, how am I going to do all that? Yeah. How am I going to be me and a wife and then be a mom? I ain't never did that before.
Listen, and as the people doing it, we still don't know.
That's why somebody asked me something today. Oh, the marriage, like you asked me, how's it going? I'm new here. I don't know. Just taking it.
Talk to me in 2 years. I don't have a lot to say. Matter of fact, we just gonna do the whole season on. Let me tell you how marriage life is.
So far, so good. But I think for myself, I know I want to be the best that I can be, especially in those aspects of other people depending on me.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't even know what to expect it to be like, because I'm already stressing on how.
Right. Yeah.
Like, where do I even start?
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's obviously it's not like a start here yellow and then like a board game or something.
Yeah, not Candyland.
Yeah.
Or Life. I used to be Life.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Baby, cause get out my car.
Not like, and I know that, like, and I'm not like oblivious to real life. Like you said, I've seen my best friend has 2 babies.
Yeah.
Back to back. So it's like I
strong woman.
Look, I don't know. So I guess that's what I'm gonna learn today.
Right?
Through y'all, I'm living through y'all experiences.
Ooh, get ready.
Right? But let's talk about the process of just going from like a girlfriend to a wife. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I assume that's gonna be a piece of cake, because baby, what's changed other than the fact that the government now know you belong to me and I belong to you. To me, I didn't anticipate what was going to come with that. To me, I just was like, now we live together. We're going to share things together. But because we've shared information about, like, these are the things that I like, these are the things that I want to try about, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you on board. I'm like, okay, so we on the same plan. Right. Then, baby, it's time to put the plan into effect.
Let's do it.
Execution.
Yes.
And you ain't nowhere to be found. You act like I came up with the plan and you had no idea that the plan was coming.
Right.
You, what? Bamboozled.
What happened?
I know that's my favorite word.
I know.
Because what happened between us planning and now it's time to execute?
Yes.
And that was like a very hard thing for me. And then trying to compute how someone was raised, but then also realizing that without really thinking about it, I was doing things that my parents had done. Yeah. And I was always like, I'm not going to act like them. You know, there are certain things, I love my parents, but there are certain things that we witnessed that I just was like,
I don't want that for myself.
We don't need to act like that. Yeah. I mean, and our parents would also say, like, don't do what I've done, you know. So, but then I would do it, and I'm like, freak. So I had to slow myself down to just be like, if I thought I had it figured out, and I'm out here acting the way I don't want to act, I can only imagine if you, as a man, is also like, well, I thought I would be doing X, Y, and Z, and then you're not experiencing that. So I don't know how to... I didn't know how to like slow down enough that I could try to catch up with my own self, but then give him the space to do the same, to like grow into this space. And that's hard.
It's new to both of y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because he never been a husband. He never been a dad.
Right?
Yeah.
And now it's like you're thinking, I don't want to say you're thinking for the both of y'all, but for instance, if I go to the grocery, like right now, if you go to the grocery store and say you want salmon, yo, you're going to go to the store and you're going to pick up salmon. Right. But now you got to be like, well, what you want to eat? And they be like, well, I want chicken. Well, I want salmon. Right. And it seems so small, but it's so big to
big deals.
to think of an adult.
Especially for me.
Yes.
When I moved out the apartment, I was like, this is the last time I will live by myself forever.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. I know, and I am one who loves my own space.
And I don't blame you.
Right. And granted, me and Corey, we have the personalities where it's like, even if we're in the same room, we won't talk for hours. He there though.
Yeah.
But we know how to give each other our space, but it's still not the same as coming home to nothing.
Yes. Yes.
And that's been stripped away. And not to say like I don't want him to be there. Obviously I do.
Yeah.
So I married the man. But it is a transition that it's like I didn't think about when it was like, oh, I want to be married.
Yeah.
Like that nigga gonna be there every day.
Every day.
Like you again.
Yes.
So yeah, what you feel?
Let me tell you. So listening to y'all say this, it really hit home just now because back 15 years ago, before I was married, this is how it happened, y'all. I got pregnant. We moved into our apartment in December. I got pregnant in August. We moved into our apartment in December. Got married in December. Had the baby in February.
Oh.
So back to back.
So
I never
so
stayed
when
by
did
myself.
you? Yeah. When?
Yeah.
Oh.
You hear? I never stayed by myself. He
Oh,
never
my
stayed by
goodness.
himself.
Oh.
We never stayed together until we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And then a month and a half later, we had a newborn.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Sydney.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, this goes to show you just because I've been knowing her since middle school, clearly. Because I did not realize that.
Well, when y'all were talking, I was like, God, no, I never experienced life by myself.
That's crazy.
I'm 19.
Take a breather.
Yeah, I'm 19. So I just graduated high school.
Yeah.
I'm in college. And I got all these life changes. And I'm like,
Going
whoa.
on at once.
Right. Ooh.
Talk about navigating something at one time.
Girl.
Becoming it all at one time.
time. Yeah.
Oh.
Because I'm talking about I had at least a year and a half to figure out how I wanted to show up as a wife.
Girl.
And that was...
You had your own space to learn you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even you too. You had your opportunity to put the towel on this side of the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Without you get what I'm saying? Without having somebody else there. But then we merged immediately, and it was in our 15 years we've spent one night apart.
You all right?
I took a girls trip last October, and that was for 4 days and 3 nights. So it was three nights apart. Yeah, that was the only time.
Wow.
We never had any space.
So what I'm hearing is we need some "you're done" girl moments.
No, for real.
Where we can escape this.
Yes.
Because what?
Yeah. That's crazy, huh?
That sounds like a tornado, hurricane, earthquake in one.
Because I literally, when I go, okay, with him being in the military, we have had the distance thing, right?
Yeah.
It sucks. Like, okay, dang, I can't be with him. You know, okay, that's very sad. And I be crying every time. But it's at the same time.
Because God's like, be safe.
But at the same time, when I do get home in my solitude and I'm like chilling, doing me, it's like I don't take those moments for granted because I know one day I will not have that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to It's easy for me to like right now it's cool. I'm married. And I don't want to put all my business out there, but we're in this transition stage or whatever. And it's like I get to experience both sides still.
Yes.
Yeah.
But few months that's gonna be all stripped away, and I don't know.
The thing that I like is that the one thing you said is that you don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times when you talk about going from, you did a lot at one time, but because you have this idea of what type of woman you need to be, we always talk about Proverbs 30. Because, baby, she's a hard woman to become.
You know what the Proverbs? Okay.
She's a tough one. I think I might like Proverbs 28. But,
Girl,
28? I ain't 31, but
you know.
We in the right chapter. Is what we in the right one. But I don't think I would have taken the time to say I'm appreciative of those moments, because I would have been like, I gotta cook, I gotta clean, I gotta be there. I have to be his rock, because the world gonna crumble in front of him. You know, I have to be strong. I have to be these things. So when I was by myself, I was constantly thinking, well, I need to get the house together, because when he gets home, because Breon's was deployed, and I was like, well, when he come back, I want the house to be together. So I'm stressing myself out about a couch.
Yes.
He ain't giving two
He don't
shits.
care.
And that couch is over there with them pillows on it. He's just happy to be home. Why? Because really all he wants is a hug. And we know what else comes with the hug. I'm going to get you on my side. Get out.
My back is fine.
Right? Don't touch me. Yes. So I think I like that you've done that, because I don't think, even though for a period of time I had the best of both worlds, he would be deployed and I would be by myself, that I actually sat and said, well, let's just figure out what you want to do. Even if getting an apartment together was going to be a thing that brought me joy, I still looked at it from, I was doing it because when he got back, I wanted him to feel like he had a home. Yeah. Versus like what is this mean?
That's just a natural woman instinct to want to do those things.
Yeah. And see, that's a good question too. Like, who puts that idea in your mind of that's what you're supposed to do as a wife?
They've been doing it to us since we was kids with the kitchen sets, the baby dolls.
Because my Cabbage
We've
Patch
been
doll.
training all our lives.
Yes, we've been training.
Right? Because I done adopted at least 3 kids. My Cabbage had the peanut butter one.
But even the games we would play, like The Sims.
Yeah.
I'm on there building. I'm making a house of
right.
Making a house on the game.
And he don't care.
No.
And I'm saying, look at my house I built. He like, yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. He does not care one bit.
But I do think maybe it plays a part in how you were raised, because talking about The Sims, most of the time I would build a home with just the mom. I wouldn't even build the home with the dad.
Yeah, sometimes I didn't build it
because I was like, what you need me?
Like, that's interesting.
Right?
Okay.
But
I would have multiple families, and I would have one named the McCoys and then one named the Smith. That's my mama maiden name.
Yeah.
So it'll be like us, the girls' house, and my daddy.
This is so funny, considering that y'all come from the same parents. The baby points.
Yeah, you gotta experience both.
That's funny.
Because we had our good times when it was just us three, but then it would be like, dang, when my daddy was in a picture, I learned a lot from him, you know, and we did have really great moments. But then sometimes I'd just be like, if my mom was sad, you know, then even if my dad was being great to me, I'm like, but she not happy, you know? So
you felt that.
I don't really care. Mm-hmm. No offense,
also
Daryl, love you, but you know, and I'm a kid too, though, you know, right? We getting it together. I was a kid and not really understanding the intricacies of what it takes to make. When they say marriages work, boy. You didn't tell me it was going to be like my part-time job, my full-time job, my third shift job, my second job before my 8th. What? Like, bro.
Graveyard shift.
But I was going to say, I remember you and Mama had a conversation, and we were talking about, Mama graduated high school. She broke that generational curse. Okay. Or Brittany went to college and got her master's. She was the first one to do that. And then I was like, well, they done did everything, but they leave me. So then they said, well, you were the one who, not to say like you settled or anything, but I literally waited to find something that was best for me. And then I started to build a foundation on that. So like I could have easily just stayed with the one nigga that was good. I was going to say good enough. But you know.
I whispered it.
But I literally just, like, not many women in our families, like, go after, like, believe in what they want for themselves and know and believe that is out there.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've had that, like, y'all have poured into me, and obviously being the youngest one, I can watch.
You watch that,
and I'm like, that didn't work out for her. I'm not gonna do that.
See, at least you were smart about it, though.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had a good, like, even though at some point my mom and my dad wasn't together, I do feel like I've watched my mom be different versions of a woman in general. Yeah. In order to get an idea of even what kind of wife mom, whatever it is that I would want to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a lot that I took notes.
Yes.
I'm not just out here like, oh, I want to be, like right now, I want to be a mom, right? But obviously I also know that I want to do X, Y, and Z. And then I be thinking, but I'm 30 and I need to hurry up. But then so it's a lot. So sometimes I do like do the whole, racing the clock type of thing. Yeah. But it's like, I also, like, and there is no right time to have kids. I would never just be ready for that.
No.
So I don't know. Whenever the Lord
is
takes
off the chain.
Yeah.
So with being the oldest though, and then you being the only child for 13 years, and then it was just you and your mom.
Yep.
So what other did you have anything else to say like, oh, this is kind of how to be a mom or a wife or whatever? Or did you like you said, you kind of ran into everything. So like, how did you go from that, maneuver into that, and then like determine who Sydney was in that?
I didn't.
You's a strong black woman. Black women in general, okay? Yes.
I did not. And me and you have had this conversation before about how, even for me and my husband, so once the kids leave, will we even, know each other at that point? Because we never really knew ourselves before doing all of this. Coming together, creating this family, being parents,
Yeah.
So before him and I got together, before my sisters were born, I kind of had the same philosophy like you. Like, I knew I wanted 2 children, but I never saw a man in the picture.
Yeah.
I never saw me
How
being
you
married.
was gonna get the kids?
I was gonna have a kid.
She was a real life Sims game.
I was not gonna have the husband in the picture. That's just what I knew. You know? But then as I started seeing more, I hate to say it like this, but more black families with 2-parent households. I started seeing that more common. I was like, I don't have to be a single mom.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, my mom told me when I was pregnant with my son, she said, you don't have to marry him. And I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I understand I don't have to marry him, but I want him to be my husband and I want him to be my kid's father, active, all of that.
Yeah.
So I had a choice to not do it by myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it by myself. I saw her and I'm like, he's not doing anything wrong to not be a part of his child's life. Why would I hinder that?
Yeah.
So that kind of opened up the gateway for me and being like, okay, Sydney, you have a partner. Now what you going to do to maintain this relationship?
Yeah. Do you feel like I know you can't speak for him and we are just talking about moms, but do you feel like he had to also make the shift, or do you feel like y'all have had the conversation since then of like what are we doing to maintain us for the betterment of everything that we are trying to build?
Yeah. So we do talk about that, and I've expressed to him, that we have to have time for our marriage.
Yeah.
Even with everything that's happening and happened and how fast we moved. So we've implemented some things to where, okay, we're setting out this amount of time for each other. But then also, too, the kicker behind that.
Ooh.
I lost my train of thought. But anyway, so I did tell him that, we got to have time for us. And then on top of that, dang, I lost my train of thought. She threw me off. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. My memory.
Yes.
How y'all gonna maintain yourselves and making time for each other?
Yes.
Okay,
hold on. I'm trying to get it. Anyway. I'm not even gonna play on it. But anyway, we are trying to stick to a regular routine.
Yeah.
Of learning each other. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So the kicker about that is every 10 years, you evolve into a different person.
Yeah.
And so
like that's like
that's a real thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Every 10
years.
I'm
coming up on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So think about it. We've been married 15 years.
Yeah.
So we're almost at 2 different people.
Yeah.
The 20s and the 30s, and then we'll do the 40s
That's
here
crazy.
soon.
I ain't even thought about it.
Yeah. So we're having to learn the new person, learn the old person, but at the same time still like each other, still love each other. The kids are evolving. It's a lot of dynamics happening here. But I think what keeps us grounded is that we know that we started so young, and we want to continue to build on that.
Yeah. You know? Because my parents weren't together, so I'm like, okay, well, you made the decision not to be, right? But then I would hear other people be like, oh, I'm just waiting for my kid to graduate. So then in my mind, I'm thinking, so what really all of y'all doing is hanging on until the kid graduates. So really, because I don't know, they think to me, and this is only this is my perspective, okay? This is how I was raised, and these are the things that I learned. So don't come for me, okay? Right. But I feel like most of the time, people feel like their kids don't see anything, right? So I feel like with mama, she would make decisions to walk away or do whatever because she would be like, my kids see that. We may not be directly talking to them about it, but they can tell that the space in their home is different.
Yes.
And so, but I feel like most people may not assume that, and they think that because I'm showing you that I'm with your father or with your mom, right, that this is going to be better for you. But I'm going to wait till you graduate. Why? Because now you're going to go to college, you're becoming your own person, you're going to figure out your own life, so now I can leave my spouse. Yeah. But I'm like, really, you feel it. And so a lot of the times with my own kids, that's something I would tell Bree. Because he would be like, well, what you doing that for? And I'm like, because you out here thinking that they don't know. Oh, they know.
They know.
They hear this. Yeah. Because what you, don't listen. I used to be off the chain, y'all.
Used to be.
You took it off my head. Used to be.
God, this is why I'm Proverbs 28. I'm closer to 31 than you think. I used to be like 17. I wasn't even in Proverbs when I started.
Now she was raggedy.
Listen, not raggedy, but I wasn't a good wife. I think I can be honest in saying that I think a lot of us, because we have the portrayal of what a wife should be, you're out here acting.
Yes.
You're not really saying this is who I am and this is how I show up. Yes. So that's why I say, not that I was raggedy or I was a bad wife, but I really wasn't the wife that God had called me to be.
But you're
I wasn't
doing what you knew.
But yeah, exactly. So now when I talk to Brie, I'm like, no, I'm not painting a picture, because I can tell you all day, yeah, I want us to do the family trip, and then I want us to go here and baby, we ain't got the funds for that. So what you want to do? This is our reality.
Yeah.
So between you and me and what we want, how are we going to get there? And then we start making plans versus trying to fake it and front it like we got it. We ain't got that. So when they be like, oh, you ain't going nowhere for spring break, baby, we going to Galveston Beach.
I know that's right.
That's what we going, because I don't have it to fly.
My kids from South Carolina, that is out of town.
Let them know. And so I feel like once you stop painting this picture or keeping the picture that was painted for you, and you're trying to just duplicate it, and you really sit and figure out like who you are, and like you say, you make the choice, not just the choice to say I'm not going to raise my kid on my own, but then you had to consciously make the choice to say, now I'm gonna stick with you even when you do the stuff that I'm not understanding why you doing. Because I do feel like as women, we mature faster. Now you talking about having a kid. I done carried this baby. This baby is mine. I remember one time, and this is probably putting my business on Front Street, but Brie and I had gotten into it, and he wanted to hold Brielle. And I said no. And Brielle had to have, she wasn't a newborn, but she definitely wasn't one yet. And here recently, we always just have conversations about like, well, how are you feeling, and what's going on with you? And he brought it up. He said, years ago, you did something, and I want to know why you did it. And I told him, I say, now living in South Carolina, take it that your family was there, but you and I, to me, seemed like we weren't going to make it. And so I felt alone. And at that moment, Brielle was the only thing that was mine.
I can see that. Yeah.
So to say I was going to and I understand you, her father, and I trust you. At the end of the day, even if my husband and I didn't make it, he would have been a present father. I will never knock the fact that Brielle is a great dad. Yeah. So don't come for my man, because I will find you.
Nobody even say nothing, and she coming for
But I feel like in that moment, she was the only thing that I could hold on to. And so I told him, I say, in those moments, I didn't know what else to do. So now that we're not in that space and I can sit and not fake, like, oh yeah, because we're in South Carolina and your family is here and we're doing this and then we're okay. I'm like, now I can sit and be like, but no, because I felt alone. You and I are together and yet I still feel like I'm by myself. Why is that? Yes. You know, and so now that we're having those conversations, it helps. But I also, now that once I did become a mom, you want to say that because you have become a mom and they have become a dad. You're like, okay, so you're mature now and you're going to do all the things you're supposed to do. You're going to worry about us having a trust and having life insurance. And because this is how you secure a family.
No.
They don't be having a goddamn clue, y'all.
They don't know. Listen
right?
to us. They don't know.
They don't know. and then even if in the fact that some of them do, sometimes just to tell Bree, sometimes I'm like, do you realize that I was a walking cafeteria? And he was like, what? I was like, I was carrying milk jugs. She cried, you looking for me. I'm a walking cafeteria. Do you realize how much work, and take it that I took so much pride. Yeah. And I want anyone to be like, oh my God, it's so hard, you shouldn't breastfeed. But it can take a toll. And I think that kind of plays into a whole nother type of postpartum. Definitely. Because you want to enjoy your baby. But then sometimes the nipples be like,
They do just like that.
No nipple cream. No nipple cream can help this, okay?
Oh my
and when I had Breland, that's when and take it that I had other complications that was going on that I was unaware of at the moment. But when I had Breland, that was the hardest time because I remember her crying and I knew I had to be the one to feed her. And when I tell you my boobs hurt so bad, my baby was laying on the bed and I'm trying not to cry. But I remember looking at her and I was like, I can't. You know, and it's just like, we don't have anything in the house. I'm literally her source to eat. This is why she's crying. She's not crying because she's a annoying ass baby. Like, this is what babies do. And I cannot do it.
Absolutely.
And at that time, Brian's, and it's nothing to him, right? Because I'm obsessed with the baby. And I know if I need him, I can call him. But the fact that in my mind at that time, I was like, this nigga downstairs watching TV. You know, I'm like, I gave birth. My hemorrhoids is like, bro.
Oh, and I'm scared of that.
Right, my body is just like,
jacked up.
What are we doing? And you're constantly saying, I'm a mom.
Yep.
I'm a wife. I got to get up. I have to do this. As much as you want to be like, I ain't got it, sis. Right? And so I feel like women don't really talk about that part of motherhood enough, because even in the moments of you saying, I know I'm a great mom and I know I have the capability to do these things, when is somebody just going to come and say, but you don't have to? Right. So that was one thing when I became an entrepreneur, and I've said it multiple times, that I say it's a blessing, because my sister, and not to put her business on Front Street either, but things are transitioning for her, and I have...
I told her,
right? No.
Whatever you said.
Constipated.
Yeah, oh my, I was talking about God.
But
that was episode 1.
Right? We still waiting on that deal from Fiber.
No, for real.
But I was like, I'm so blessed, because when she does have, you know, her child, I don't want to come up there just to say, let me see the baby and give it back. Yes. I want to be the one to say, take the nap, sis. Yes. Like, I'll wake you up if the baby cries. Yes. But if he or she be chilling and all they want to do is like, we here. But if you need to shout, it's simple things, y'all. Like, it's like when you got to sit and start thinking when the last time you took a shower, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
When you know that you babe on the regular.
Yeah.
And now I'm out here questioning my own
It's the problem.
Like, is that me?
Is that it? Underbum sweat.
Yes.
Milk.
How many shirts did you go through with milk stains on them?
Bro.
You know?
And don't mention me almost messing up my whole couch because I'm passing blood clots.
Yes.
Baby, what are we doing?
What's going on here?
And that's just... And I don't say it to make it like, oh my God, you should never have...
Like, poor me.
Right? But it's
real life.
I'm a mother, and sometimes we have to sit and say, I need help. And sometimes that has to be told to your husband.
Yeah.
Because we automatically are like, well, if I'm on it to wake up and do what I gotta do, you should be on it. But they don't get to judge. Right. All they had to do was say, you got this, babe.
No, I don't.
No.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Right? Hey, hook them up to a machine. Because this is ghetto. And so I just wish that we could rely more on each other and actually tell those stories.
Yeah.
And be in a safe place that no one goes, but that's your job because you ain't nobody tell you to be a mom.
Is there anything that you think that you could have done to like? Obviously, some of those situations are just inevitable. Like those things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And I ain't mentally prepared for that. It is what it is. But I'm saying, like, so with me not being a parent ever, Corey never being a parent ever, is there anything that you could possibly give parents people that are not parents yet, advice on how to navigate those problems when they do arise? Like, okay, obviously communicate. If I can't do it, somebody got to do it, and you the only other parent here.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, how do you communicate those things where it's just like, I ain't got it today. I'm not Superwoman today. Like,
I think two things. For one of my friends that does not have babies, and she's older than me, but wants them, she has already financially prepared herself to hire a nanny. Or hire somebody that's going to come in and clean or whatever. So she has the money and the funds put aside for that. So she's planning for that. And then for two, to have those conversations with your friends, your close ones. And I say friends because family, they're going to say, yes, we're going to come and we're going to help you, but it's going to be one of those situations like Brittany talked about. Oh, I'm going to watch the baby, but guess what? She start crying, he start crying, I'm giving him back.
Yeah.
But if you have that understanding with special friends, like me, I didn't clean up her kitchen before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she ain't got to tell me that.
Yeah.
I can look around and see, because I've been in that space. I know what needs to get done. It's going to get done.
Yeah.
But if you have friends that aren't that observant while you're pregnant, have those conversations with them and being like, hey, I don't want you sending me no edible arrangement. I want you to come over here and fold some
flies
clothes.
around.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yes.
I want a vacation.
From my
own Also, too, letting them know that it's okay, because sometimes people don't want to overstep your boundaries as a new mother. And so they might shy away. So let them know, hey, can we have a group? I want you to come do the laundry if you're okay with that. I want this. I don't want that other stuff that y'all trying to give me. This is what I need at this moment.
Oh, and that just made me think of something else. Because like I said, my best friend, she's a mother of two. And then I don't know if I asked her this or if I asked Kayla. Which is the other best friend of the group. And I was just like, have we been good friends to you as you become a mom? Because I'm not a mom. And she don't really come out and say
what she needs.
Yeah. So I'm like, I look at her like she I don't know what I'm doing. So I figured she did. And I had to really sit and just think like, am I being a good friend to her? Good. Like, I don't even know what she needs.
But I think that's the thing, because we're already in the mind that I'm super mom. This is my baby. Because you're really not even thinking in that moment like, dang, I need help with the laundry. You thinking, if you this old, I'm taking care of you till you at least 18. If I can't do the laundry today, then I ain't gonna. So you already planning for shit. Yeah. Baby, we just saying right now.
Yeah.
I can't feed you and put the laundry. So I think it's telling yourself, I don't need to be Superwoman. It's okay to say, I'm not doing the laundry, right?
Yeah.
Can you do it? Stop trying to say, I need to do it all because this is what I'm going to go. Brielle is 8. Brielle doing her own laundry. Yeah. Right? So I could have easily been like, well, she probably going to do laundry till she's 12. So let me make sure I stay on top of it. Well, bump that because homegirl making eggs.
And they are good.
Right? And they're delicious.
They do.
And so it's like, stop thinking so far ahead. Think about what's going on right now. What do you need right now? And I will say, for some people, they're like, I will say from my encounters with Bria, I feel like she handles everything well. But I think if I never shared anything, anybody else would have been like, Brittany's handling everything well.
That's true.
So if you're also in a space where you feel like the person isn't saying anything, it's the small things. Like, I know Sydney like coffee. So I'll be like, yes. When do you want the coffee? Yes. Or if I, you know, could be out of state or something like that, then I would cash app or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that was going to be my next issue because I ain't got no friends in Maryland.
Yeah, but see.
I don't have nobody.
Right, but see, so that's
me
where
and
the
Corey
things are.
Gonna be looking and blinking at each other. What we gonna do now? The baby crying again.
Right, but I think that's where those conversations do end up happening is, let's be real, because your initial thought process, and I know, and maybe it's just me, and y'all can tell, Sydney can tell me if I'm wrong, but because I'm like, now, you know, before we had this baby, the laundry was done. Before this baby, the dishes had to, we are hungry every day, so why the baby here, you act like you ain't gotta provide no food, right? I think it's having those things up front. And that's why I be like, when people do these baby showers and they want to be like, yeah, give me the tutus and bump that. I need diapers from size newborn to however the biggest one is, because I don't know how big this baby gonna be.
I want gift card. I want a fund like you. We need a nanny service.
And then
we need a nanny.
Put that on the registry, because those are the real things. But in the moment, you are just like, oh, this is the first baby. I want them to be cute, but it's like,
give me those little one pack of white onesies and call it a day. Because they finna throw up on it.
I was about to say that. All they can do is throw up on it.
Right. Give me buy 10 bottles of Shout It Out. Exactly. Because that's what you're going to need. Absolutely. But I think when I was in South Carolina, I think the biggest thing I wish I would have done is I just would have spoke up for myself. Yeah. Even if it seemed so small, or if it seemed like, oh, you should know, I wish I just would have said, I just really don't have it. And it would be a great help if you can do this, that, and the third. Because it would have been a thought process for me, but also think, before the baby, I was handling it. Yeah. So it's like, now you putting it on them to reverse the role, when really they're just thinking, well, my wife eating, she's saying she good, the baby's been taken care of. As a man, they're probably thinking, I'm doing great, everybody's still alive. But really, you in the room
except
with
this, you, if you don't go get the
drowning, killing yourself. So stop trying to be Superwoman, just say what it is. But also, for instance, I know, like, I work, mama work, things like that, but I think that was something I wish I would have done, is call mama and been like, I know you got to take off work. I know that's going to mess up your phone. But if you could pick a weekend, I just need you to come up here. Yeah. I think I wish I would have done that. I think it would have been a big help.
I'm calling. Bring everybody. Right?
Okay. You on this? No, don't come on that weekend. Somebody already came. What you doing 2 weeks later?
Exactly. Schedule the visit.
Corey gonna be like, so who coming over this week, baby?
And that's one thing that I did find myself doing with my latest, the last child. The first two, they were back to back, so it wasn't really much family involvement, like when they were little. But with Madden, because the family knew I had the older two, anybody came around and said, hey, Sydney, you want this? You want that? Yep.
Yeah.
So touching that bag.
Yep.
Right? For the chicken spaghetti.
But I will say I'm very grateful to have like parents, like seeing my parents be grandparents to Breland and Brielle, and also Corey's parents as well. His daddy can't wait till I have a child.
I love it.
He wants that baby name to be Daryl Wayne the Third, and I ain't doing it.
Not telling the world.
Because he asks me every day almost. Every time I talk
Wayne the Third.
Because both our dad's name are Daryl Wayne.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
But my daddy and his daddy.
That's some pressure.
Yeah. I know. I was like, that's I was like, your middle name is what? It was already strange. Okay, Daryl, okay.
Yeah.
But the middle name too.
Yeah.
Like your mama couldn't be more creative.
I was like, that's crazy. He think my baby name gonna be Daryl Wayne the Third.
I think
that ain't how that work.
That baby name could be Elvis. They gonna be like, Daryl, come in.
He gonna be DJ, no matter what.
D3.
Boy name start with a C.
Right? You know, the boy's name is Calvin. It's close. It got an L in it. You know that's something Daddy would say.
Exactly.
I'd be like, no, sir. You're done.
You're done.
Nonetheless, I'm still excited for the journey, but I do know it's going to be a journey.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful to have a support system. Absolutely. And I will definitely be reaching out.
Yes.
So, Sydney, I'll call you.
Hey, I'll do it, girl.
Yeah.
I will fold y'all drawers.
I booked y'all a flight. See y'all Saturday.
Okay. Right. Baby, you got the roll it.
Yes. Come on.
Go ahead.
You got to buy your own check bag.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, the Southwest got ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghetto.
You saw that, right?
Baby, you're going to have to make a draw for me. At least my drawers can do that. Right? We can wash the pants again, but I'm going to need the clean draw. Yeah.
That's crazy because I love them too. Free check bag, carry on, and personal item.
Right? Ghetto.
But yeah, so what would you guys say now that y'all been mothers for years, y'all been my wives for years. What did you have to say that you were going to be done with in order to be the best versions of all those versions of y'all?
Brittany, you go first on this.
Oh, no. You're the guest. No. Let me, give you the floor. This is a tough one. But it's probably something, well, I shouldn't say it's a tough one because I'm actually working on it. Mm-hmm. But it's very hard. I hate when people be like, you're still Brittany. You do what's best for Brittany. Don't be the mom. But it's just like, it's very hard for me to separate Brittany, wife, and mom. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is for everybody, but for me, I'm learning to just leave them whole. Okay. Because to me, I'm just like, if I'm still taking the time to do my own self-care, it's showing up that my kids see that I'm doing self-care. Okay. If I'm giving my husband what it is that he needs, then in return, he gives me what I need. But when I'm constantly like, oh, now Monday, I need to be sure that Brittany...
Right. From 2 to 2, I'm pouring to Brittany. Yeah. But when the kids get home, now I'm mommy.
Right? Because every time you go to Walmart or somewhere, you already know you buying a cute outfit. And it's your time. You must be in there buying shoes for you, but you could not pass up the little sandals. She done bought sandals for my kids.
I know.
Brittany, they was cheap. I had to buy them.
They were so cute.
Yeah. So I think I'm letting go of this notion or being done with the notion that I have to remember who all three people are, because really I'm all of them. So if I can learn to just pour into each of them each day, then each day I'm going, then each cup would always at least not be depleted. Yeah. I think once you feel like you've emptied the cup of being a mom, then you take away from caring for Brittany, because now I have to keep pouring back in. Yeah. But if I can keep at least a little even keel, maybe one go a little bit down, but I'll be back, sweetie. Yes. Then it makes me feel like I'm whole and I'm okay with that. So I think I'll be done with trying to separate myself. Just I'm all things because I'm a mother.
Yeah, okay. Mother.
Yeah, let them know.
I love it.
Your turn.
Now, I guess what I would really be done with, as far as when it comes to motherhood, is the expectation of what motherhood looks like. Yeah. Because each household is going to be different. Mm-hmm. Values, all of that, principles is all different in each household. And so I used to put myself on the pedestal of, this is what a mom does. I told you I was the classroom mom. Yeah. I bring the treat bags. I'm there for this. I'm there for that. Baby girl, this last one, I'm barely bringing you to school at this point. You
better be glad you got that on time.
Yes. Exactly. You seen how
you lucky you got a snack.
Yeah. So I think just lowering those expectations and putting that on myself as this is what a mom does. My kids, they're going to find something that they don't like about me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I am okay with that. But at the end of the day, you can't say that you weren't fed, you weren't clothed, you didn't have shelter, and you weren't taking the best care of as possible. So just let me know that I'm okay. I'm okay with the way that I'm parenting my kids. Yes. And they are still alive.
Right? And
well.
Right.
As a mom
to be.
Well, no, that's not
right now. As one who will be one.
Yeah.
What and it's you can't necessarily be done, but I would say like, what are some things you don't want to necessarily bring in to motherhood now that we've had this conversation?
Well, I think I can go back to what I said in the beginning of the episode of just like I said, I was psyching myself out of how am I supposed to do it?
Yeah.
So I think I could be done with, I guess, putting those societal standards.
Yeah, you got it, girl.
Okay.
You got it.
Putting those standards of whatever they say a perfect mom or wife's supposed to, because they'll get on there with the day in my life and they make the breakfast and put the kids in a car, take them to school, go get to their Starbucks and make it look all nice and pretty. And like you said, every day it won't look like that. And knowing that I'm doing what I can for my family or even for myself, because if I can't pour into Destiny, I for sure can't be the wife Corey need me to be. I for sure can't be the mama that baby gonna need me to be. So just understanding that whatever my reality is, I guess like what both of y'all said, that's just what it is. And I don't have to try to become the perfect mom or become the perfect wife because it's already within us to do those things.
And you're gonna be exactly what your baby needs you to be.
That's
because
why God gave them.
Exactly. Yes. And I just know her kid's gonna be so peaceful like me. I done birthed her.
You're done.
I have birthed my sister. That little one, y'all.
Oh yeah.
That's your twin.
Birthed my sister.
Walked in the house. Well, she walked in the house. And act like she didn't want to speak to me today. But I saw this post. It said, a girl and her firstborn niece is the bond you can never break. And that's why Bria my girl. That's my girl too. That's my girl too. But that little girl, she look at me upside my head like, and then I leave.
Yeah, I'm about to say she ain't number right here.
And then I leave and come back. It's Testo. Oh no. You was just mugging me. I don't like that.
Kids is off the chain, y'all.
But that's my girl. We are the same. That's why we,
But heads.
For the 4-year-old. Yeah.
Yes. Not fighting out here with the 4-year-olds though.
But that's my girl too.
Yes.
Okay. We'll meet y'all at the bus stop.
Right.
Hey, y'all keep looking at this camera.
Because we need them to
talking
know.
to them.
Right? I will put on the tore up jeans and a hoodie. As hot as it is, because why you got a hoodie on, it's so damn hot outside.
Because I'm late.
Right?
I put a bow in my head.
Exactly. And I'm showing up to say something. I'm
Who
doing
is
your
Brielle?
Yes, because I'm a tall 8-year-old.
But yes, shout out to all the mommies and all the wives.
We
and all
love
the
y'all.
women.
In the village.
Yes.
The village.
Y'all are killing it. Y'all are doing great.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Well,
love y'all out there.
And shout out to Cindy. Shout out to Cindy for coming on to the You're Done podcast.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
We're going to do it again.
Part 2.
Part 2. But not for real. Part 2.
Yeah. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to the You're Done podcast. See y'all at the same time next week.
You know we gonna do it.
Yeah.